You're the only person on the panel, at the moment anyway, who has not served at least a couple of years in Montpelier.
Yep.
What's your sense as kind of an outsider looking at Montpelier, the legislature? What's your kind of main impression, say the last session or two?
Well, I mean, I certainly have appreciated our delegation's work down there for many, many years. I think obviously all theory kind of changes once you hit the practice of trying to make the sausage down there. Obviously that stuff, everything is going to change. I think that one of the reasons why I'm running as an independent is because I think sometimes the parties tend to get a little bit too rigid in their ideology, and they sometimes get stuck in ruts that don't allow them to think of perhaps other solutions to problems. And so one of the things that I'd like to see more of is more third-party and independent kind of runs, so we can kind of break up the logjam a little bit. I don't think we have the same partisan rancor that we see in D.C., although I've been a little disappointed with some of the rhetoric that I've seen, particularly around healthcare, which seems to be a lot more of the red-baiting, scaremongering type stuff that we've seen in Washington. So I think that maybe mixing up the status quo a little bit will give people more space to think about other solutions than just let's just do across-the-board tax cuts and do all the things we've done before, but try some other alternatives.
Well, and Ron touched on this, just talking about wanting to reduce the size of state government. Is state government right now, is it sustainable the way it's being operated right now?
Well, this year we are now looking at the revenues we had in 2005.
Really?
Which means we've lost 5 years worth of revenues. It's the same issue of if you spend $1.50 and you only take in $1, there obviously is something that has to give there. That is a concern. That is a real issue. I mean, you look at education, we have declining enrollment. It's got down 14%. The number of teachers have gone up 20%, and we spend 70% more money on it. I mean, it's a conundrum, and it's a thing that we really have to face up to. And, those of us who've been working in education and dealing with things like, the creation of Union High School, or the K through 12 that we did here in St. Albans over the years, and the various studies we went through, that's really valuable experience in what we're looking at now. So
let's keep on that again. The Education Commissioner Armando Villaseca. I guess at this point, is it just a recommendation that school districts look seriously at consolidation? I'm not aware it's a directive or whatever. In order to do that, should the legislature, is it getting to the point, it doesn't seem like a lot of school districts are eagerly doing this, should the legislature get in and start making some mandates with regard to that?
Well, we didn't do mandates. What we did is we created an incentive program in the bill that we did last year, back in May, and basically it's part of the Challenges for Change. They were asked by the legislature to cut their budgets all the school boards were asked to cut their budgets by 2%.
But again, this is voluntary. And they weren't
voluntarily, except that they had to submit all of their stuff very early to the Secretary's office or the Commissioner of Education, and he came back with all the schools based on some kind of formula that helped them determine what kind of cuts they should be making. So some were like 1.06%, when some were 2.4%, whatever. The issue is that was part of the Challenges for Change to save $23 million. In addition to that, and consolidation may not be the right word, but they put an incentive in where they can go and voluntarily go in and look at how to study, how to go and combine or look at supervisory unions or districts or any combination, and they have a $20,000 grant. There's $150,000 available in the bill for helping them implement it if they get chosen. And then there's a pattern of property tax reduction that works over a 5-year period that would save property taxes for the communities that successfully decide to do this or that get chosen to do this. And in this area, I know that Bob Rosane and Bruce Chapman from the Fairfax, Georgia Fletcher District and from the SU for the Franklin Central, they've been working together trying to work with the education people. We're down there often trying to figure out how to work with these two districts, these two SUs, to try to make it more efficient. There's lots of other options out there. The school boards have to go out to their communities and have to really educate the communities as to how they can do this and how they can maybe take advantage of whatever savings and incentives there are. I know Richard Cate, way back when he was the commissioner, he had meetings through the area. He had one here in the area at St. Albans Town School. He looked at trying to make the supervisory unions the school board so that the three representatives from each district would become the school board, and that they'd be weighted to take care of the one man, one vote, but it would create some opportunities for savings within it. You know, the other thing we have is the supervisory unions could combine. We have 4 supervisory unions with 4 superintendents, 4 business managers, 4 curriculum coordinators, 4 special ed coordinators. Those
right here in Franklin County.
Right here in Franklin County, and they could actually save some money if they administratively found a way to merge or to consolidate. Lots of different options are out there.
But when they were all done talking, you know, there wasn't any saving. They had a lot of moving of bodies, but there wasn't a dollar saved. In which I think really was you know, that's what the property taxpayers are looking for. How are we going to save some money? In fact, I have a bill. Last year it didn't move any, but there's some skids coming there this time. If you're over, well, there's 12 different states that do this. If you earn under 32 or 30,000 on your adjusted income, and you're over 65 or 72, you don't pay any education tax at all. And I know the state of Washington.
Which, of course, is about 3/4 of one's tax bill typically.
Right, it's about $3,600 that it would help here in Vermont.
All right.
And they pay only the town tax, nothing else. So, but...
Boy, there again, if you do that, that's you're losing a bunch of revenue if you do that.
There's some frills that they may have to take back, you know. There's certain things I wouldn't want to say on the press, but, you know, they're going to have to tighten their belts. And, you know, there's... you can see locally, you know, things that we used to do, make locally, just small things. These big aluminum benches they have around the soccer field there just for 6 weeks. You know, they'd have some local carpenters would make them for $100, and you know they're paying $500 for those. Just little things, but that's what adds up on the bills. You know, they turn the lights on in September and they don't shut them off till they're leaving in May. I don't think there's an on and off switch. But, and these are the things the property taxpayers will tell me. Why are they blowing all this money? And then if they have a holiday, it always, their type of holiday, you know, they're getting federal money, but they never adhere to, for instance, Armistice Day, they'll have maybe a teacher training day. Schools aren't closed. And Memorial Day or Flag Day, whatever, they never close then. This is what the local people talk about. Why aren't they in sync? The courts are closed, the banks are closed, and the schools are open. Does it seem right? No, I don't think so at all. They should be. They want to use the same dead presidents, but they want to act different. Their own format.
Is state government sustainable at this point?
No, it isn't sustainable. No, and I think they won't cut state employees, but they'll reduce their hours, and they already reduced their pay, the state employees. And we took a cut in pay, which was all well and good, but there's certain things that need to be fine-tuned.
Ron, something tells me you're going to say no. Is state government sustainable at this point?
No. But let's get back to the schools. I disagree with the consolidation of school districts. I think it takes away from the local control. There's no money saving. School board members don't make a fortune. I mean, if anything at all. You could save money. They're talking about, well, they can buy as a group and everything. You can do that on the supervisory union level. I think getting rid of about 40 some odd supervisory unions would save money. And leave your school districts, you know, the way they are. And, you know, I still think the state should look at statewide teachers' contracts. Someone in paper the other day said something about, well, you know, if you have a strike, the whole state goes on strike. Well, you know, police officers can't go on strike, so teachers shouldn't be able to go on strike. You know, when they're passing a school budget, the big thing is for the kids. Well, you know, and I feel bad for some of the districts. I think it was Winooski was, I don't know how many years without a contract. That wasn't right, but you know, I don't think teachers should go on strike. I mean, you got to think of the kids too.